What if the storm you're in right now isn't about you at all, right? But the person that you become after you survive that storm, right? We always think it's about us. How we react to adversity is what other people are going to see as believers who God really is. We're different than everybody else. We can't be like everybody else. So even in those, I've had many tough seasons in life. But the one I really had most recently, even this year, right, it's gone a long way. And it's made a lot of impact that didn't just affect me, but it affected others around me. Now, let's get to the next episode. Yo, what is good, everybody, man? Hopefully, everybody's feeling loved and blessed. As always, bro, welcome back to another Kids Room podcast episode, man. Hey, today's episode, it's very important to me because of how things have gone, right? Life is never easy. It's something that we all have to go through, right? But today's message, we're going to title it, Why Your Go-Through Matters More Than You Think. This year, I had a lot of things happen to me. And a really big thing was my grandfather passed away. And a lot of things I learned in that moment in time, right? I had to travel, take flights, take Ubers, spend a lot of money in a lot of different areas that maybe I wasn't prepared to spend money in, right? Or it caused me to be away from my job, right? It caused me to be away from my spouse, right? It caused me to kind of be in a state of isolation because of how many things were kind of going on in life. But those words that kept coming into my head was, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway, right? You wake up and it's super early and you're irritated and you want to go back to bed, but you know you got to go work out. Just do it anyway, right? You know that you have to pay these bills. You're not going to have a lot of money left over, but you know that's going to get you what you need. Just do it anyway. That you're not getting along with your spouse. You're not getting along with your parents. You're not getting along with your siblings, but you still continue to just do it anyway, right? You continue to have those conversations. You continue to show love even whenever it's hard with your friends, with anyone, right? Any of your relationships, you just do it anyway. That's what's so important, because what you go through in life, you don't realize it, but the silence that you hear that people are seeing, the people that are that maybe see your posts, right? Or maybe they see that you're struggling, but they see that you're also pushing through it, right? That your go through doesn't just impact you, but it impacts other people. And when my grandfather was passing away and he was sick, and seeing him and doing these things and seeing the family members around you, right? And I've had a podcast for a while. I do my posts and I do these things. And even getting around the family that I haven't seen for a while, they see me and they want me to pray, or they see me and they know that I'm a positive person, or they see me and they know that I want to grind and I want to be better and I want to do other things, right? I'm not a money guy. I'm not into flashing big money or having the nicest clothes or to do these things. I'm not that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, bottom line is, like, I'm not really anyone special in my head, right? Per se. I'm just me. I was always like this. I was always self-motivated because of, it wasn't that I came from nothing per se, but it was that I had a bad mindset from the beginning of life, that I always saw myself less than. So when I got into that mindset that I can be whoever I want, I can do whatever I want, things like that, that never strayed away from me. So that's the person that I am. Like, I've never been a person to just give up. I've always just had that just do it anyway mindset, because eventually, somehow, some way, this will pay off and it will get me to where I want to be. But recently, it's like sometimes I feel as if it's harder, right? It's harder to get back into that mindset. It's harder for me to push through. It's harder for things to happen for me because of just life. And then you start to become more aware of this and that. And then you start to become more aware of your barriers. But then sometimes the little things. One day I was at work, right? And not to even get too much, I guess, detail about it, but I'm a manager, right? And managing people that maybe I don't even manage all the time, but it's the impact. I have relationships with other people that I still have till this day, that I have even when I left where I'm from, and being in a new place. It's just impact, right? I had a man come up to me, and somehow, some way, he found my podcast, stuff like that, and I'm not gonna get the details about how all that happened, but we talked, and I know this guy and everything like that. Older guy, right? Probably in his 40s, 50s, and he told me, and I think I said this in my last podcast, how much it meant for him to say what I said because of what he was going through, right? Or I've had people younger than me, right, that are going through, they're in sports. I love sports. I love track. That's what I used to do. I would love to go back in the opportunity of coaching and doing things like that. But just even younger kids, man, they heard what I've said and things like that, and it's motivated them, right? And it don't seem as like as much even to me. But if it's driven me because I feel like I'm so self-motivated that it's normal, right? When I get around a lot of people that they're not self-motivated just like me, that the same impact that I'm going through or the same situation that I'm going through, it'll hit somebody else a different way. Somebody else might not get through it the same way I might get through it. It might take me a faster amount of time or a slower amount of time compared to somebody else. But it's like I might have those moments of like getting down on myself and doing things like that, but it's because I just wanted to do it anyway that it got me through. And even in the Bible, it talks about, even in Daniel 6, and I'm gonna go to the 10th chapter in the 10th verse in the 6th chapter of the book of Daniel, because it goes to say that now when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened towards Jerusalem. 3 times a day, he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God, just as he had done before. Now, just a little bit of backstory. When the king had made a decree or a law to say that no one could pray to another god or not give praise to anything else, or when they hear the music, they're supposed to bow down and praise the king, no one else is supposed to do anything else, Daniel just did it anyway. Did the same thing he was doing before, right? And that goes to show right there. Wait, hold on. That's a word right there. That just goes on to show right there. If you just stay disciplined and do what you did before in the same opportunity that God is giving you, just do it anyway. You are prepared for that moment, and you'll find out why soon. Because later on in the chapter in the Bible, if you know the story, if you continue to read that, it's very important to know that they threw Daniel into the den of lions, right? And even then, they were like, and the king loved Daniel. He wanted Daniel not to have to go through this, but he had to obey because people came to the king and said, well, you have to do what you said. The king has to obey the law that he even put out, that if you pray to someone else other than him, that you have to basically die. And then they threw him into the lion's den. But Daniel knew that God was going to deliver him, and God did, and shut the lions' mouths. And later on, after things had happened, the king made another decree after that one, saying that people are supposed to praise that one God, right? That's who they praise to. Just to go on to say that in the same chapter, but verse 26, it says, I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. Because he had seen what Daniel had went through, those impacts, because he just did it anyway, right? So whenever you just do it anyway, the normal things, the things that are effortless, which you keep going through, you still have to obey your discipline. You still have to obey God in every opportunity, in every situation, right? So you may not realize it, but someone is watching how you handle your storms. Your perseverance could be the very thing that keeps them from giving up, right? In this episode, we're seeing how God is using, the hardest seasons, right, in your life, in my life, and how they're impacting other people. Even if it's not directly impacting them, your words and what you go through, people feel that. I don't know how to explain that, because even when you read the Bible or if you pray, you talk to God, it's crazy how when you look back on things, God will set feelings into your heart, into your mind, into your spirit on how you're supposed to feel about that. Because that impact didn't just impact you. It impacted other people around you. It impacted other people to read their word, to pray to God, to talk, to do these things. And maybe you don't even realize it because it's so effortless to you and you're just going through it, but you don't even realize what God is actually doing to you, through you, right? And whenever you get through what you go through, right? When you go through your go through, watch the impact. Watch how God lays the path for you to where you're supposed to go. Lays the path for you to get to those open doors, get to that open place, to that next opportunity. But just remember this. Just do it anyway, right? We automatically assume that we can do it on our own, and we forget that God has always been there for us, been there with us, never forsaked us, never left us. So we have to obey when He allows us to live, allows us to go through to get through our go through. We have to thank Him for that. And know that at the end of the day, God is good, man. God is great. God has done many things for us, and He'll continue to do many things for us and through us as long as we follow through. But we have to start it. We have to do those things. And even when you're struggling through things and you don't feel like you deserve it and God gives it to you anyway, know that just like Daniel, even when they left that law out and they said the decree not to praise anyone but the king, and he just did what he was supposed to do, what he did before, he just did it anyway. See how it changed the nation, changed the kingdom because of what one person did. Now, what you do matters. What I do matters. Because nothing else matters. That means everything we do matters. Thank you for tapping in with this episode, man. I hope it's a blessing to somebody. Follow, subscribe, whatever the case may be, however you're seeing this, however you're hearing this. And guess what, man? I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.